I mean, look, I said before, and I can say it again, he has a Nero problem. He's a contemporary Nero. Famous kind of problem. And if you leave him in there, you're going to find out the effect he's going to play. He's going to play the role of a Nero. He may not have the specific problems that Nero had, some of them, but he has this idea, this look, the one, and his self-adulation is manic, euphoric, self-adulation. This is the mentality of the worst kind of dictator. Don't let him get in the position where he has that kind of power. Keep him under constraint, the legal constraint within the American presidential system as it works. Keep him in that constraint. If you don't, you're creating a monster. You don't want a Frankenstein monster. You don't want a Narcissus in the presidency. And he's a case of Narcissus, just like Nero. And the program is basically that of Nero. He's a danger to all humanity if you don't keep him under control. He's a danger to himself as well as everybody else. So you ain't persecuting him when you're protecting him from himself.
In the 3 years since Lyndon LaRouche delivered this public warning that Barack Obama is a pathological narcissist in the image of the Emperor Nero, this president has seemingly done everything in his power to prove that LaRouche's diagnosis was absolutely correct. From the illegal regime change war in Libya, ending with the gangland slaying of the head of state Gaddafi, to the extrajudicial assassination of at least 3 American citizens in Yemen, to the drone mass killings in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Yemen, and Somalia, President Obama has proven that his only credentials are those of a mass murderer who will kill on an ever grander scale if he is allowed to remain in office. Barack Obama possesses the failed personality of an Adolf Hitler, and the threat of mass murder posed by Obama now is even worse than the atrocities committed by Hitler. One need only imagine if Hitler had possessed the arsenals of thermonuclear weapons that are at President Obama's disposal today.
On Syria, I have, at this point, not ordered military engagement in the situation, but the point that you made about chemical and biological weapons is critical. A red line for us is we start seeing a whole bunch of chemical weapons moving around or being utilized. That would change my calculus. That would change my equation.
With his overt threat last week to launch yet another war involving U.S. air power, this time in Syria, the president is bringing the world to the very brink of thermonuclear conflict and potential extinction. It is transparently obvious to anyone who cares to think about it that a U.S.-led replay of the Libya regime change war in Syria, without even a fig leaf of UN Security Council support, will draw Russia and China directly into conflict with the United States, the United Kingdom, and anyone else foolish enough to engage in this provocation, like France. This means World War III. It brings the world to the very edge of thermonuclear extinction. The danger of thermonuclear World War III is staring us all in the face for one simple reason. President Obama is a mass killer whose lust to murder makes him a perfect stooge for the faction of the British Empire that is committed on record to the elimination of 80% of the human race. This is the consequence of tolerating President Obama remaining in office.
Good afternoon, everybody. Today, the government of Libya announced the death of Muammar Gaddafi.
President Obama's track record of mass murder is not a matter of speculation. He has publicly flaunted the killings of Muammar Gaddafi, Anwar al-Awlaki, and Osama bin Laden. He is behind the leaks to the New York Times, boasting that he presides over a weekly meeting where targets for extrajudicial assassinations are selected and special forces and drones dispatched to carry out the illegal executions. To date, he has adamantly refused to deliver a public message to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, ordering him to drop any plans for a preventative military attack on Iran. Another attack that would be a trigger for general war. Within Israel, it is now openly acknowledged that President Obama, by his silence, has given Netanyahu a green light to launch world war. Obama's zealous pursuit of extrajudicial killings is nothing less than a war crime under the standards of the United Nations Charter. In June of this year, the UN Special Rapporteur on Extrajudicial Killings, Summary or Arbitrary Executions, Christoph Haynes, delivered a speech in Geneva describing President Obama's use of killer drones as a war crime. In his speech, he singled out the practice of drone attacks on rescuers coming to the aid of victims of drone assassinations, declaring, if civilian rescuers are indeed being intentionally targeted, there is no doubt about the law. Those strikes are a war crime. By the standards used at the International Court of Justice at The Hague to prosecute Slobodan Milosevic and Charles Taylor, President Obama can expect to eventually be in the docket, charged with war crimes and crimes against humanity. By his own words and widely publicized deeds, Obama is already provably guilty of crimes worse than those of Milosevic and Taylor. Obama's callous attitude towards mass killing has also been evident in his brutal cover-up of Operation Fast and Furious, the program through which thousands of weapons were smuggled across the U.S. border into the hands of Mexican drug cartels. An estimated 300 Mexicans and at least one U.S. federal agent, Brian Terry, were assassinated with weapons provided by the Obama administration. The Attorney General of the United States has already been convicted of contempt of Congress for his cover-up of this brutal policy. Until and unless President Obama is removed from office and dumped as the Democratic Party presidential nominee, the United States stands little chance of surviving. Are you prepared for the human race to be extinguished in a global thermonuclear war because you were unwilling to demand that Barack Obama be removed?